Hi everybody, so today I'm going to do a review of the proper name version of the King James Bible. So this one does come in this paper sleeve. So I'm going to hold that right there. So this one, it is based on the KJV, and what it does, it restores the proper name of God as Yahweh, and in its short form Yah, and it also presents the name of the Messiah as Yahshua, revealing the meaning of his name as Yah is salvation. It is easier to read with thousands of words updated into modern English, and it also has cross-references and a concordance. So on the back here, it does give us some examples on verses. So we've got the KJV up top, and then what they're calling the KJB down here, so it's the proper name KJB. So if we look at that, we'll see for the Lord Jehovah, and then that was changed for Yahweh as far as on the names. And then also, so here's another example on another verse. So we can see on there, the next day John seeth Jesus. And then down here, we can see that it has been changed to the next day John saw Yahshua. So some of the words that were changed are just really simple changes, like we've got coming unto him that was changed to coming to him. So it's not like big differences from the KJV. It's just changing like the word taketh to the word takes, stuff like that. And also saith to said. So nothing major as far as like changes on there. So I know sometimes people kind of go a little nuts thinking that they've had a lot of changes, but these are just pretty subtle. So there's the Isbn number. This one does retail for $49.99. You may have in the past seen me do an unboxing of the paperback version, which is kind of like a satin tone finish on it. And I like this one enough that I wanted to get the imitation leather. So I'm going to hold this right there for a second so you can look at those there, and then I'll put it down here. That way you can see a little bit more. And then the paperback is $24.99. So I'll put links to these in the description box as long as I can find links, but I'll definitely link their website as well. So it comes in the sleeve, but then it also has this page with it. So we've got looking for a reliable, easier to understand Bible. In times of global confusion, know which God is God. So I will pan down this and hold it that way if you would like to pause and read this. So again, the word changes are pretty minor. So we've got the Deluxe soft synthetic leather-like, and then the satin-like coating on the paperback. You can also get a digital format of it. I believe that those were as low as $5. Then there is their website and information. So I liked it enough to want to get this one here, because I do like Bibles that have gilded page edges. I just kind of like that. Alright, so this one here measures out at 9.5 inches tall, 6 3/8 inches wide, and it is 1.5 inches thick. So we do have a nicely done gold gilding. There's a couple scuffs on there just from me using it for a couple of months. We've got a tan and white head and tail band, one double satin ribbon. One thing that I'm not sure on is whether or not it's just glued or if it's sewn. I haven't found any threads or any evidence of stitching or anything in it yet. So if I do find any threads or evidence that it's sewn, or if I find out maybe from the publisher if it's sewn, I'll put a comment down below. That way you can look at that. Alright, so on the cover we have proper name version of the King James Bible. And that is embossed in there, as you can see that. It is also on the spine, as well as name publishers. It does have a paper paste down liner, so it is a kind of a textured paper. And then we have 2 blank pages of cardstock, and then we've got our title pages. So this one they do consider a study edition, probably because the cross references and the concordance. This one is printed in the United States. We've got our contents page, and then the abbreviations of the books of the Old Testament as well as the New. And then we do have a preface. So you definitely want to take the time to read these pages, and it will help you to understand the changes that they did make as far as the names and everything like that goes. And then over here it does talk about how it is based on the manuscripts that the King James is translated from. It does retain all the italics on there. So, and it does update thousands of archaic English words into modern English. We did see some examples of just like saith to said, just some minor ones there. So it clarifies the meaning of Greek words, also restores a Hebrew-based proper name of God, as well as the Messiah. So you definitely want to take time to read these front pages. So we get into the text. We're going to have a single column, verse by verse layout. All of our references are going to be on the left side of the page. So it's always going to be on this left-hand column. Get you a little bit closer up here. So there is our font. The camera is picking up a lot more ghosting than what I see to the naked eye, but there is a little bit of ghosting. But one thing that I really like is the verse by verse, but also the fact that the references are lined right up with the verse. So that I do really like. Get you a little bit closer there so you can see that. So again, the ghosting is worse on the camera. However, there is definitely some ghosting in this one, so keep that in mind. Where there's not references, there is a little bit of space for you to take notes. And then we can also see that the text is far enough away from the gutter that it doesn't fall into the gutter, so I do like that. Now, I'm not sure if the paper in this one is the same as in the paperback or not. I'm just going to quickly see if I can get that same page on there and see if there's any less ghosting in the paperback. But I do believe that it might be a different paper just because the way that the light kind of shines on this, it has a slight sheen, whereas this paper doesn't. So we've got same pagination. And from looking at it, looks about the same as far as the level of ghosting, but it is definitely a different paper from the look and the feel of it. But I do enjoy reading from this one. Some of the words that I have noticed that have been changed while reading it is in Genesis, in chapter 18, verses 24 and 28, they did change the word peradventure to perhaps. So that is a good word change. Then in Job 41:18, they changed the word neesings to sneezing. So I think that was a good change. I also did notice in other areas where they changed the word mirth to gladness, the word holpen to helped. So I do think those are good changes on there, because a lot of people, if you said neesings, they're not going to know that you mean sneezing. So good changes on there. The ribbon, it is a nice double satin ribbon in a gold color. They did cut it really well, and so it is nice that it is double satin and a little bit wider. Plus the color looks good with the cover as well as the head and tail bands. So I do like the ribbon in this one. If they did line matching, I think that would cut down on a lot of the ghosting. You can also use just the trick of putting a piece of black paper behind the page. That cuts down on a lot of the ghosting in Bibles. I do have a video on that as well, I believe it's titled How to Reduce Ghosting in Your Bible. So definitely check that out. So we get to the end of Revelation, and then we're going to have an appendix and concordance index. So we've got a page on the name of God. So it'll have the historical renderings of the name of God. So I'm going to get you closer there and show you that. So that is kind of neat. They've got some good information on their website, on their frequently asked questions page. So they've got one on what is the difference between a name and a title, because there is confusion on where people think that names and titles should all be changed. But you have to also remember that sometimes, like false gods were also called by certain titles. So titles and names are going to be a little bit different. So look at the frequently asked questions. There's also one on, why isn't God's name in most Bibles? And isn't the name of God too holy to say or publish? And then the one on what's the difference between a name and a title. So that one would be a good one there. So we're going to have a concordance. It is 91 pages. The words are done in bold. Gives you all the scripture references. So it is nice to have all the references as well as the concordance. Then we get to the back of the Bible, and we've just got 2 more pages of blank cardstock, so you can take some notes or prayers, whatever you wanted to use it for. But I do like this Bible. I enjoy reading from it. The ghosting it's not as bad when I'm looking at it, but when I look at it through the camera, it is a lot worse. But I always keep a sheet of the black paper on my nightstand, so if I do read from one that has a little bit more ghosting, then I just use that paper. But definitely check out their website and look at those frequently asked questions. So if you do have questions on here as far as like maybe why they've changed the names and the way that they've done it, it's definitely worth looking at. I personally do really like this Bible. So there again is the ISBN number. This one is the soft imitation leather. They also do have it in the paperback, and then also that digital version as well. So there's an ISBN number on that one. But if you like the King James version of the Bible, I think you would like this one. So you're not going to notice a whole lot of changes as far as on words and stuff, because a lot of them are just some of those more subtle and simple changes. Like, let's see, so one of them was like on, so the next day John seeth Jesus, where they changed it to the next day John saw. So pretty minor changes. You really wouldn't even notice if you're used to stuff in the King James. You're not going to find a lot of differences aside from the names. So definitely check it out. I will have their website linked in the description box. All right. Thanks for watching. Have a great day.